Hello, this is GAMEZOMATIK and welcome back to the channel. And a couple of you have been asking me over the last couple of days, probably because of the video I put up the other week about playing PC games. Am I still are you still collecting? Are you still collecting games? And yeah, of course I am. I'm still collecting games, yeah, especially older stuff. But I thought I'd come on and do a collection video. I've not done one of these for quite a while, a collection video, so I thought it'd be a good time to come on and do one. And I'm going to concentrate on the original Xbox. Now I've got quite a lot, quite a lot of original Xbox games to get through. So I don't know whether this video might be split into two parts because I don't want it to go on for about 40 minutes. I did do a PlayStation 2 video about 6 months ago or something like that, and it just went on forever, and because I had about 200 PlayStation games, but I think there's about 100 or something here. I could get, what I'll do is I'll do what I did on the last video and I'll number them as I'm holding them up. Yeah, but it's a console that I never had originally back in the day. I always wanted one but couldn't afford one. Anyone who remembers that far back will remember that the original Xbox, when it came out, was quite a pricey machine. And I had a PlayStation 2 at the time, but so some people would say, well, why did you collect for this console? You know, you haven't got that kind of nostalgic kind of feeling for it. Well, I kind of have, and I haven't. I didn't have one, but one, I always wanted one. And number two, at the time it came out, I was living with my my best friend, and he had one. And although I never told him this at the time, I was playing on PCs and stuff at the time. I had a PC and I think I had a PS2. But although I never told him this at the time, and I think he'll watch this and he'll probably be like laughing at me or calling me a dick. But at the time I was quite jealous that he had one, although I would never admit that to him. So I'm kind of admitting it now about 20 years later. So yeah, original Xbox. But since I got one about a year and a half ago, maybe a bit less than that, I can't remember, and I built up quite a significant collection simply because the games are so cheap for them. Not all the games, but most of the games are pretty cheap for them, and are still quite easy to find, and again you see them a lot in charity shops and places like that. So I'm going to do a collection video, and this is my original Xbox game collection. So without any further ado, we'll just crack on with it. So yeah, two massive piles here, well, three actually. So I'm going to just go, they're in no particular order, so I'm just going to hold them up one at a time. I'm not going to talk about any of these games in any kind of detail particularly, because there's quite a few of them, but I'm just going to go through them. So the first one is Dead or Alive 3. Which is a really good kind of fighting game. Just love the Dead or Alive series. Just going to stack them up here in front of me as I'm doing them. Next one is the one that I've got playing behind me here, which is a fantastic game and only ever came out on the original Xbox and the PC. And you can't, even if you got it on the PC now, because I had it on the PC as well, you can't get it running on modern systems anyway. It's something to do with the engine. It uses the same engine as the Halo game, and it's just a total, it's probably impossible to get it running on modern PCs. And that is Stubbs the Zombie, which is just a fantastic game. One of the best games on the original Xbox. Such a funny game. Like I said, these are in no particular order. Next up is Viet Cong Purple Haze, which is kind of a port of the PC game. Then we've got the original Mercenaries. Not all these are obviously exclusive. Some of these come out on other consoles. Of course, you can't have original Xbox without having Halo. Which of these are 10 a penny? You see these everywhere. I've got the Atari Anthology. Reach over here and get some more. Legacy of Kain Defiance, which is great. I love the Legacy of Kain games. This isn't as good as Soul Reaver 2, but it's still a pretty decent game. So I think Soul Reaver and Soul Reaver 2 are the two best ones. Jaeger, which is kind of a space sort of space sim, space flight sim thing. This is terrible, this game, but this was like in a charity shop for about 50p. That's Final Fight Streetwise. Next up we've got Counter-Terrorist Special Forces. I remember having this game on the PC as well, Fire for Effect, which is quite a fun kind of third-person military shooter, if you like. Rogue Ops, which is kind of a rip-off, trying to be sort of Splinter Cell type game, but with a female protagonist. These two games I originally had on PC actually, but then I picked them up on the Xbox. These are great games, really good kind of horror games if you can find them. Very much underrated and overlooked. That's The Suffering, which is a fantastic game. It's like a survival horror game set in a prison. And then there's The Suffering 2, which is called Suffering: The Ties That Bind. Again, really, really good. Scary games, released by Midway as well. Next up is The Thing, which is another great classic game from that kind of generation, and one of the few games based on a film that is absolutely really, really good. Talking about games that are based on films, this one's really, really bad, and that is Reservoir Dogs. Oh, this is a fantastic game. I had this on the PlayStation 2. Not on the PlayStation 2, on the PC, and I absolutely loved it. And this is actually this is a really solid port, actually. A lot of people didn't think it was, but I thought it was a decent port, and that is Soldier of Fortune 2 Double Helix. Fantastic game, really gory. Another not great kind of movie license, RoboCop. Then we've got Metal Gear Solid 2, which of course is a classic. This is Substance. I think it's got some extra stuff on it, I can't remember. I've got the HD remaster of this, so I probably won't even ever play it. We've got Turok Evolution, another game that always turns up in charity shops for some reason. You see this game, but I think every time I walk into a charity shop I see Turok. Yeah, so we've got True Crime Streets of LA. There is Streets of New York as well, but I don't know if I've got that on the Xbox or the PlayStation. So, oh, there we go. It's the next one here. True Crime New York City. So they're kind of a double kind of set, really, aren't they? Of course, these turned into Sleeping Dogs eventually, which was a brilliant game. Really good. Total Overdose. I've got Siberia 2. You can get Siberia 1 as well on the original Xbox, but it's pretty hard to find now. I think it goes for about 20 quid. These have also been re-released recently on, I think they were re-released on the PlayStation 3, and there is a new Siberia game coming out, Siberia 3. So I really like these games, actually. Good old school point and clickers, and it's nice to get them on the console. The Punisher. I think I've done that one, Mercenaries. Have I got that game twice? I'm sure. I've just picked up Mercenaries again. I'm looking to see whether I've already done it. Have I got that game twice? Just let me check, because it's going to bug me unless I check. I have. I've got it twice. I didn't even know I had it twice. I've got that game twice. So if anyone wants to copy of Mercenaries, let me know. I didn't even know I had it twice. Yeah, so 2 copies of Mercenaries. This is what happens, you see, when you collect games. You end up buying multiple copies of the same thing because you forget you've got them. This is a pretty hard one to get hold of. Not hard, but you know, it goes for a decentish price for an Xbox original game. Psychonauts. I was pretty lucky. I got this from a car boot. Really good game. Talking about games, this is one of the games that holds its value. There was multiple releases of this game. There was 2 different releases, but this is the one you want to try and get hold of, and that is Morrowind. But this is the Game of the Year edition, which has got the add-on packs. This holds its value. This game, it's still quite pricey to get hold of. I think I paid about £12 or something for it. But you know, I can't remember. I know I didn't pay as much as it goes for. But yeah, fantastic game as well, Morrowind. Another kind of one that's slightly collectible, I'd say, is Shenmue 2. Of course, the most desired one would be probably the Dreamcast version of this. This is slightly less desirable, although I don't know why, because obviously this one came with a DVD as well. So yeah, this is the one with the DVD. It's got both the discs on it, the game and the movie. So yeah, Shenmue 2. This is a good game. Panzer Dragoon Orta. Kind of an on-rails dragon shoot 'em up. A lot of fun. Really hard though in places, really tough. But kind of a really good arcadey experience. Goblin Commander, which is a little bit kind of along the lines of Overlord. If anyone's played Overlord on the PS3 or the PC, it's very much a similar kind of game. Call of Cthulhu, a really good kind of horror, sort of first person horror, really creepy in places. It's based on like a H.P. Lovecraft kind of world or story, so yeah. Fantastic game, not hard to get hold of, really cheap. Thief, Deadly Shadows, love the Thief games, and a lot of people didn't like this third one, but I just thought it was pretty much just as good as the others two. Probably not as good as Thief 2 maybe, but certainly an excellent game, and it's got one of the scariest levels in a game you'll ever play. So yeah, Thief. Jurassic Park Operation Genesis. Now this game is another one that holds its value, especially on the Xbox. It came out on the PS2 as well, but for some reason it's not worth as much on the PS2. I was really lucky. I got this in a cash converter for 99p. So I was made up, and it's in really good nick as well. But not just that, it's a great game, and also it's works on the Xbox 360. This game, it's actually on their list of compatible games for the Xbox 360. So, which is good because it kind of upscales the graphics a little bit on it. So yeah, Jurassic Park Operation Genesis. Some of the great games here. We've got Project Zero. I know this goes for quite a bit on PlayStation, but it's a lot cheaper if you can find it on Xbox, and it's the same game. So yeah, unless you're kind of bothered about how much games are worth, but if you just want to play the game and you're not bothered about which format you've got it on, I'd recommend you get it on the original Xbox because it's a lot cheaper. And Project Zero 2 as well, which is just as good as the first one. Then we've got these, which I've showed these on another video, but as part of a retro collection video I did. But so we've got Midway Arcade Treasures. Midway Arcade Treasures 2. And Midway Arcade Treasures 3. And this is essentially just driving games, this third one. But I picked this up because it's got one of my favourite games of all time on that, Stun Runner. I spent so much time playing the Commodore 64 version of Stun Runner when I was a kid. and the minute I saw this and it had Stun Runner on, I was just like, I'm getting that. So I always put this on just to play Stun Runner. Get back to the next pile. So we've got Still Life, which is a game. This is probably the last original Xbox game I picked up. I only got this about a month ago. I haven't even tried it yet, to be honest. It's been sat in a pile there waiting to be had a look at. I remember playing a little bit on PC years ago. Unfortunately, they didn't bring the second. Is that Still Life 1 or 2? Yeah, it's the first one. They never brought the second one out on the original Xbox. Azuric. This is a good game. Curse, the Eye of Isis, kind of a third-person adventure game, all based in kind of a museum and around the concept of like mummies and Egypt and all that. This is a great game. Crimson Skies, which is kind of a alternative first, well, is it first or second, kind of flight sim. Like kind of Red Baron type game, but it's a lot of fun. Of course, Doom 3 in the old metal tin. And we've got Wings of War, which is another sort of flight sim, kind of World War One, kind of again Red Baron-y type flight sim. You can actually see the plane there. It kind of looks a little bit like the Red Baron. So yeah, Wings of War. Again, it's quite a good game actually. Micro Machines. Love Micro Machines. This is an absolute classic. Originally, just gonna have a little drink. Originally played this on the PC, but this is a very decent release. Half-Life 2. Of course, you can get the orange box now if you want to play it on console. We've got Brute Force, which is another one of them games that you kind of see everywhere in charity shops and things like that. Ultimate Pro Pinball. I love pinball games, and they're always really cheap to buy. Scalar, which is kind of a platformy sort of game. I was going to say kids platformy game, but it's not that. It's not really that kiddie. So another great set of games, especially the second one. So we've got Blood Rain. Oh, that's Blood Rain 2, sorry. And the original Blood Rain. Wasn't overly mad on the original game, but the second one's really good. A lot of fun. So still loads to go here. So we've got Driver, Parallel Lines. Love the Driver series. This was actually fairly decent, this one. Quite like Parallel Lines. Driver 3. This one was dreadful. They were trying to go for the old Grand Theft Auto thing and it just didn't work. So you could get out of the car and kind of shoot people and things like that, which I think you could do in Parallel Lines as well, but it just totally fell flat on its arse on this one. So the Da Vinci Code, just a charity shop pickup, 50p or something. So I liked the book, read the book, quite liked the film, so I thought I'd pick up the game. Silent Scope Complete, love this game. I haven't got the gun. You can buy the gun that goes with it, but I'm not arsed. It still plays pretty well without the gun, and this has got all three of them in. So talking about guns, we've got Gun, which you can get on the 360, obviously graphically better, but Pirates of the Caribbean. Fable. Who doesn't love a little bit of Fable? Oh, now these games I do love. I'm going to go through all these as one kind of bunch. I love the series, and these are kind of these vary in quality, if you like, depending on which game that you play. So we've got Rainbow Six 3, which is fairly decent, which is a decent kind of port of Athena Sword, which was the PC version of Rainbow Six 3. Then we've got Rainbow Six Black Arrow, which was more of an expansion really, but there's still loads of levels on it, and I think this added a lot of online multiplayer, which I don't know was in the first game. It did have a little bit of online multiplayer in the first, but this really kind of concentrated on the online multiplayer aspect of it, but there's still a very good sort of decent amount of single player content in there. And then there's Rainbow Six Lockdown, which isn't that great, to be honest, and is quite a bit different from the PC version, if I remember rightly. So this was a big disappointment when this came out. It seems the thing about Rainbow Six, they keep stripping stuff out of the game. I mean, the new Rainbow Six is absolutely as much fun as it is to play. It's nothing like the original. Cold War, a really, really solid kind of Splinter Cell type game, but set kind of in the Cold War. You play like a photographer and you're kind of sneaking around Russian embassies and military bases and things like that. Yeah, it's a really fun game. So yeah, Cold War, lots of good gadgets in it. You see through walls and things like that. We've got Deus Ex Invisible War. Love the Deus Ex series. This is probably the worst out of all of them, but still a pretty good game. Pirates, The Legend of Black Cat, a really solid pirate game actually. Don't be fooled by its cheesy look and cover. This is a great game. I did cover this on my, I don't think it's on my channel now, but it was on my old channel, and I did a gameplay of this, and it's such a good game. Do you know what? It's very similar to Black Flag. A lot of the ideas in Black Flag, I think, were pinched from this game. Like it's got the ship battles in. You can go around the different islands. There's treasure to pick up. It's basically a precursor to Assassin's Creed Black Flag. We've got Commando Strike Force. This is when Commandos decided to go all first person on you. A really good game actually. Not as good as the original Commandos games because they were different types of games, but still a really solid, fun World War II game. And did something a little bit different as well with the World War II kind of genre. We've got Evil Dead, A Fistful of Broomstick. Love Evil Dead. That's an okay game. And then we've got Evil Dead Regeneration. This is a really good game actually. And you can sort of play co-op on this game with this little impy fella as well. So you can sort of play it together with someone else. We've got Headhunter Redemption, which is the second Headhunter game. I like the Headhunter games. I mean, they're really old and dated now. And the shooting mechanics are very dodgy in them, but still a lot of fun, these games. Dark Alliance 2. I've got the first one on PlayStation 2. I did want the second one on PlayStation 2, but again, it goes for quite a bit. And then I saw this in a charity shop again for like £1, so I just picked it up. I thought, well, not really bothered which format that I get it on. So you can't have another game that you can't have an Xbox original that have in this game. This was one of the games that was bundled in it. Midtown Madness 3. Yeah, talking about game bundles, the only good game, I'd say a game that came in a bundle that I haven't got is Jet Set Radio. And I just never see it anywhere. And yet, I watch like some people. I watch people doing pickup videos on YouTube, and they have like 4 copies of it, and I can never find it anywhere. Not for like a decent price. And when I do find it, like people want 15 quid or something for it. So yeah, So if anyone's got a spare copy of Jet Set Radio out there, let me know. Bloodwake, sort of a speedboat combat racing, sort of combat-y Hydro Thunder type game. Tenchu Return from Darkness, like a little bit of stealth. Now we're going to get into a big shitload of Star Wars games. So we've got Star Wars: The Clone Wars. Love this game. Remember buying this when it came out. Star Wars Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy, which is the second Jedi Knight game, I think, of that generation anyway, because this is the first one. Star Wars Jedi Outcast. I could do with another copy of this. There's no manual with it, and if I remember rightly, the disc is absolutely fucked on it, but it does play. So yeah. Star Wars Battlefront 2. This is another one that goes for quite a bit actually on the original Xbox. Again, I got this for about £1, I think, in a charity shop somewhere, so I was pretty lucky. Star Wars Republic Commando. Terrible game, big disappointment, but still Star Wars. Star Wars Obi-Wan. And of course you can't have an original Xbox without having these two games, and that is Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic and Knights of the Old Republic 2.